Speaking about the moment, Evan, Queers Against Censorship, you got those signs up there in front of your bandmates. What's that about?
Yeah, so my day job is I help run an organization called Fight for the Future, which is sort of like an ACLU for the internet. So we work on civil liberties issues, surveillance, and free expression. And Queers Against Censorship is actually a relatively recent campaign that we launched specifically here in the Boston area to call upon our Massachusetts congressional delegation, folks like Senator Markey and Senator Warren, who historically have been very outspoken in favor of LGBTQIA rights, but have occasionally advanced legislation that actually would harm our community. So, for example, we've been working with a coalition of local LGBTQ organizations to oppose the Kids Online Safety Act, or KOSA, which is a bill that really sounds good on paper, is trying to address a very real issue, which is big tech companies deploying surveillance-driven algorithms that harm our kids, but that from our perspective and from the perspective of civil liberties experts would actually allow the Trump administration to erase resources for trans and queer youth who are under attack. And so we're calling on our senators to kind of speak up on this, and so I thought I'd bring some science here to the library to make our point.
Well, we spend a lot of time criticizing the internet and the whole talk about kids with mental health problems, et cetera. But if you're queer or trans, I would think, a place of community when you're young and trying to figure it all out.
It absolutely can be. There's actually a major study from the CDC, back when we had a CDC that actually functioned, with apologies to our previous guest.
No, he's not.
I know, he's on our side.
He's on the right side.
But a CDC report on social media use among teenagers that showed, for many teenagers, it's the story that we've all heard, which is that, overuse of social media is harmful, it harms mental health outcomes. But for specific groups of teenagers, including LGBTQ teenagers, you actually see better mental health outcomes for queer youth that have access. And it's not a mystery, right? For those of us, if you grew up in a rural area, if you grew up somewhere where you don't have supportive parents, playing on Discord with your friends may be the only space that you have where you can safely express yourself. And then there's resources like the Trevor Project, which are out there providing suicide prevention for LGBTQ youth. And those are the types of resources we want to protect while holding these big tech companies accountable for the very real harm that they're doing. And we believe we can do both at the same time.